stuff to
updated
their
agenda.
face and everything, I'm like, it is close.
Yeah, so they all had like, I watched them.
If I open all those.
Yeah, so they all get trashed and
It's just, oh yeah, I can't imagine, I can't remember what that today.
amazingly enough, that place was.
So they cleaned it up pretty good.
I didn't see the campground, I mean, like everything, like throughout the whole.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I didn't see a lot of trash.
What?
Really? Wow, that's impressive.
Must say,
Okay, I got 6 o'clock. I'd like to bring the meeting to order. Jamie's in the house, just not in chair. First thing we need to do tonight is we need to have our budget hearing. Mindy's printed out the budget for everybody. Everybody is welcome to observe. And Southeast Kansas Midwest Assistance Program, Shelley Underwood and our new recruit, Sherry, I just met her today, I'm sorry, Sherry. I'll get better with your name, has assisted us in helping us make sure that the budget is acceptable. This is Mindy's first year at doing a budget by herself, and we're gonna be revenue neutral, so congratulations, Mindy and Miss Midwest Assistance Program. With that, I am going to turn the budget hearing over to Mindy, and if you guys have any questions, you need to bring them to Mindy's attention. We'll pass them on.
Or bring them to Shelley's attention.
If you would like, I could do it.
Please come on up, Shelley.
Thank you for allowing me to be here this evening and for accepting this budget extremely last minute. So I apologize, it was actually a little bit more time consuming than I initially had planned, but we've made the deadline. So I had briefly reviewed the budget with Lou, or Mayor, excuse me, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Before,
You're
okay.
fine.
Before this meeting started, and so I think the most important part about the budget is actually the fourth to the last page, and so that's basically your notice of budget hearing. It really outlines what the city has going on for 2024, 2025, and 2026. So if all of you wanted to turn to the page of notice of budget hearing, then that's what I'd initially like to review. Down at the bottom or towards the middle, it basically shows the amount of tax dollars the city of Linn Valley levies each year and how that revenue neutral rate plays in with the ad valorem tax and the assessed valuation. So each year the city of Linn Valley's assessed valuation has increased rather substantially, and so if you kind of look towards the bottom, it'll say assessed valuation for 2024 was at $19,094,338. That year, you guys generated $767,099 in tax revenue. The next year, the assessed valuation was $23,655,530. So, based off of the assessed valuation increasing, your mill levy decreased. So, 1 mill is based off of property tax value, and as the value increases, the mill levy goes down. So in 2024, the mill levy was 40.174. In 2025, higher evaluation, the mill decreased to 38.103. Then this 2026 proposed budget, you'll see that Linn Valley is levying 30.410 mills. And that's because your assessed valuation, has increased about 10 million over the last 3 years. And so you have a $28,817,544 assessed valuation. So I personally feel like that's the most important part of the overall budget. Then to point out a few things that's in the budget this year that historically hadn't been in the budget. It was brought to our attention that we are trying to negotiate terms with the POA. And I guess to introduce myself, I'm Shelley Underwood, and I actually had been working with Linn Valley since 2018, and then there was a few years there where our organization wasn't providing technical assistance, but we were on the ground initially when the water project started, and we were negotiating terms with the Rural Water District and Lacine and that expansion. I was involved with the sewer expansion that you all have going on, and so I am very familiar with the community, even though I haven't been here for some time. So with those conversations taking place with the POA, we established a water fund. A water fund is like the sewer fund. It's an enterprise fund, and it's not based off of tax dollars. It's based off of customer charges. And so with the intentions being that way, you would need to have budget authority for 2026, and that's why we've included expenses in there for 2026. Whether or not it happens, it's yet to be determined, but at least you'll have budget authority if you do negotiate those terms with the POA. Other than that, nothing is substantial. There was some asks for some capital improvements for some new vehicles that's worked into your next year's budget. And so all of the needs of the city had been communicated to us, and we incorporated them in this budget. And I feel like you guys should be in pretty good shape. Do you have any questions?
Michael? No.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions, Robert?
I was looking through it. Don't have any right now, I don't see. I was just kind of comparing. Did we budget for another police officer again next year for a third full-time?
No.
Just a part-time? Okay. That was where the numbers changed. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all I
so
had.
On your general fund detail page, if you want to see exactly which, municipal court, police, fire, codes, legal, it's the general fund detail page that you can kind of see the increase and whether or not something additional is budgeted in there. So like salaries for the police department, it did increase by about, 56,000. Whether or not that can sustain a full-time additional staff member, I don't know. But that's where you'll see the breakdown.
That's where I was seeing it, and
Yep.
that's why I was wondering.
If it increased from last year, then it does, because we had it in the budget for last year.
Right,
So then it does the same.
okay.
If it decreased, that's what we were concerned about. If it increased, then it's, because we already had it budgeted for this year.
Correct.
Okay.
This is, keep in mind, the approval of this budget is for 2026. Okay, also what goes with this is I would like to remind the council is this is the first time since the state's started the revenue neutral program that this city has made revenue neutral. So, with that, again, I can't commend Mindy enough for the hard work that was put in with Midwest Assistance. Hey, we'll take all the help we can get. Where we're at with this is I need for the council to motion to approve the budget presented.
I would make a motion that we approve the budget as presented for the fiscal year 2026.
Conversation. None, all in favor?
Aye.
Two, I have 4, 1 absent.
Motion to adjourn budget hearing.
Adjourn. Okay,
You need to sign after.
thank you very much, guys.
If you don't mind, we might head on home.
Please, we appreciate you guys coming up and all the help and all the above and being here. I was surprised that you had the time to do that with everyone doing the same thing at the same time in the state, so.
Well, we took great priority, so you knocked a few other communities off the list. They were understanding though.
Ma'am, thank you and your department very, very much for everything.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, guys, now what we do is we're gonna go to our regular meeting, and we, with that is, we would start with,
Call the meeting to
roll
order.
call. I'll call this meeting to order. Thanks, Robert. And we will, start with roll call.
Rubo.
Here.
Soup.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Caps is absent. Weirs.
Here.
And Hill.
Okay. I'd like to start with standing, facing the flag, say pledge of allegiance, please. Robert, will you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We stay standing. John, would you lead us in a prayer, please?
Dear Lord, help us to make good decisions tonight and do the best we can for the community. And please let Worthy be okay. Amen.
John, thank you for saying prayer. And Robert, thanks for leading us in the count. Pledge of allegiance. Okay, we're going to start with approval of the minutes. Need a motion to approve August 11th, 2025 meeting minutes.
I move to approve the August 11th, 2025 meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Conversation? All in favor?
Aye. Move to approve the August 21st, 2025 special meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Clerk's
Okay,
report.
I wasn't here.
Pardon?
I wasn't here, so.
Okay.
Special meeting.
Okay, thank you. Clerk report. Any conversation for the vouchers? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $46,641.76.
Motion to approve vouchers in the amount of $46,641.76.
I'll second.
Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, will you see there B, budget approval, there's a line through that, we took care of that in our budget hearing. And now we're gonna move to number 3, cereal malt beverage update fee adjustment. Mindy, would you explain to the council what went on with state and legislature this year regarding the cereal malt beverage?
So in the past, the vendors would fill out their application, bring it to City Hall with $50. 25 of that would go to the alcohol beverage control, ABC, and we would keep it. The other 25. Last year they raised the fee to 100, so they would bring 100, 25 goes to ABC, we keep 75. Well, this year they changed it. Now the vendor goes directly to the ABC and fills out their application, and they approve the application. The ABC does, and they send them their $25. And then the ABC sends the approved application to the vendor with their little stickers. Then the vendor brings the application and the stickers here, City Council approves the license, and then we collect 75. Our fee schedule needs to be changed, and the ordinance, because they both say 100, so it's only 75, or, yeah, here.
The state wants to collect their own $25 application fee rather than the city's collect it for them. Maybe they don't trust us, I don't know.
I think it's
But-
more trying to keep track of people better.
Yeah, it could have been. So Mindy is asking for, Mindy, what are you asking for
I
in a
need-
motion?
To approve resolution 141 for the cereal malt beverage price update. And you're also gonna see the same resolution under 911 signs, cause that price changed, or I'm gonna ask for a price change there.
All right, so I will make a motion to approve Resolution 141, a resolution repealing Resolution 134 and establishing fees pertaining to city services, permits, and applications offered by the city and referenced within the code of Linn Valley, Kansas.
Oh, it's my turn? I'll second.
Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Robert, very good. Okay, we're gonna move to the 911 sign
Well,
pricing.
I need the
now, so
ordinance, I need the ordinance approved also, cause it has.
The 275.
Yeah,
Don't have that.
it's ordinance here. Ordinance 275.
Oh, yeah, I did read this one. Okay, I just can't find it in there. All right. Ordinance number 275, I would make a motion to approve ordinance 275, establishing the license fee for cereal malt beverages, and also covering beer containing not more than 6% alcohol by volume, regulating the sale of cereal malt beverage and beer containing not more than 6% alcohol by volume within the city limit of Linn Valley, Kansas, and repealing ordinance number 267.
I'll second.
Conversation. All in favor?
Aye.
Job well done. Move to 911 signs. Mindy?
We just currently had to restock and notice we've been charging $15 and to restock everything for signs, it now cost us about 25 bucks to buy them. So we'd like to raise it to 30, cause they do have to drill the holes and put them together.
Do we need to make and
Well,
approve the same
first
motion
off-
for another
Well,
resolution?
this is being added.
Okay.
This is a fee schedule that was never in document. There was not a resolution found, nor was it in a fee schedule.
Okay.
In conversation with legal recommends that because this is a service we provide at a cost, that we should list it under our fee schedule.
Correct. But do we need to make a new motion to reapprove the same resolution?
Well,
No, you need to
Amend the
approve-
resolution?
You need to approve to amend to add it to the resolution.
Okay. Motion to append resolution 141 to include our 911 signage fee at $30.
I'll second.
Conversation. All
On
in
those-
favor?
on them signs, we need the locking nuts on the back and not just regular bolts, because they just, when the wind blows them, they just come right off and the sign fall apart. If we can.
okay.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Okay, there's mayor report. Tonight, I want everybody to just kind of bear with me in conversations tonight because we sometimes can't cover our thank yous enough with people. And my example is, I want to thank the fire department, our safety departments. I want to thank our police departments. If everybody watches the news, safety and police officers and emergency responders have a tougher job than they've ever had. They can die by touching something. You know, being shot is not the #1 priority and trying to come home at night. And then those individuals have families that worry about the very same things as they're out in the field. So those people, I want to make sure that we thank for the risk that they take in doing their jobs. Thank you. Things went on this weekend that brings these things to mind. City employees, we need to thank them for a job well done. You know, based on what we accomplish, what we don't accomplish. You know, so much like the police department, what they do is so very much unappreciated. From Codes Department to Mindy's job to, you know, it's the same thing with the police officer. They can't always say what people want to hear. With that in mind, I want to thank the POA employees also, after thanking all the city employees. We ask ourselves how things get done around here. Who hauls all the sewer? Well, this weekend I discovered that It's the employees. It starts with managers that return their calls on weekends and people need help, supervisors that return those calls, and employees that are kind enough to come out and haul people's water or haul people's sewer. This kindness is reminded to me when the church had 79 women at the church on Saturday that unfortunately we were short water and we had plenty of sewer. The POA came and rescued us. You know what? They were our heroes that day. So with this being said, please, when you see these people out and about, wave at them, or when you see them stop, thank them, and commend them for a job well done. And I ask every one of you, how hard could you drive that sewer truck? You know, so these people provide us a service that not everybody can do for us. The same with our city. So let's be thankful for the people that we have in our community that's doing for us. With that, I want to remind everybody that this is an election year. Don't take it out on the employees, and don't take it out on city employees or POA employees. You know what? POA board maybe shouldn't take as much out on employees. But I'm very thankful and grateful to every one of the employees that work in our city. So thanks again, Corey, Mindy, every one of them. If people aren't aware, Robert Suppenbach is one of our fire and safety volunteers. So, you know, again, a lot of people who participate. Before Jamie has to inform the council of do's and don'ts, I want to remind everybody again, it's an election year. There's going to be a lot of stuff out on Facebook. This council doesn't have the prerogative to put your opinion on Facebook. If 3 of you happen to respond to Lister Potter's Facebook page, you've created a quorum, something that legislature tells you in your governing body handbooks to not do. So don't be baited by Facebook. Don't get angry by it or whatever people do, but you know what, be careful about how you state your opinions. Please don't create quorums. Does anyone have anything they want to add to that brief little deal?
Yeah. So Corey, if I go flying by you and you pull me over, I'm just trying to stop you to thank you.
Thank you back.
To join him at court on the first Tuesday of the month.
Imagine that. Okay, last thing I have, guys, is I have a question for everyone on the council here. Michael, do you lease a car or do you lease a house? John, do you lease a car or do you lease a house that you're living in or driving?
No.
Nope.
Robert? Richard?
All my stuff's old.
Okay. Guys, the city makes $26,000 worth of payments on a rental every year. I would like for this council to consider us getting rid of a rental and paying for something full-time. Okay? Again, the clock's ticking again, because in March of 2027, this lease will be up. That means by mid-year of next year, you'll be discussing, or this group will be discussing, are we going to resume this lease again for another few more years? Are we spending money? Is that money being spent wisely? We had a resolution on this in 2024, and we couldn't come to terms with a lot of things, and one of them was the cost of it. Guys, we can pay for a lot of building for a payment of $26,000 a year. You know, probably the majority of a building. I believe that this building can be built through what is already budgeted and what this city would have to contribute. I do not think that we'd have to do a general obligation bond. I don't think that we'd have to borrow money, or we would really need to go get a grant, which, this is what you gotta remember about our grants. We can go get grants, but there's a split when we get them. So, you know, we never know what that split's gonna be. So we could end up paying more, thinking we're gonna get a grant. You could pay more in the long run than not. And I would like for this council to consider allowing the city to move forward with another resolution so that we can start researching how this can be done. Okay, so again, this is a mayor's minute thing. I'm not here to ask you to do anything. What I'm asking you to do is to consider this, because this city should really be considering what you're gonna do in the next few months. This year is almost over. This conversation started at the beginning of 2024. So I think I don't think we're bad managers of our funds and our finances, but could we be better at it? We meant all along for this to only be a short-term lease. Okay. I don't have anything else. Let's get on with the agenda. Okay, sewer report. Any questions? Codes Department, nuisance report. Any questions? Building report. Everybody has one? Any questions? How's building inspections and everything going, guys?
Well, pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
We haven't had a lot of complaints unless they're going somewhere besides the city hall. So,
They're not complaints then.
you know.
Probably that card you're giving them with that 800 number.
And again, thank you guys for going out there and doing the job every day. With the building report there's a thing in here called One Pro Code. I'm gonna try to explain this to you the best that I can, which I think is pretty good. In times past, building came to us with wanting to install programs. Remember how expensive them things were? They were like $57,000 a year, $2,000 a month, and all of this, and it was never in our wheelhouse, nor was it in the budget to even consider that in years past. We have discovered a company, this company called One Pro Code. We've done our due diligence. We've checked them out. I'll ask Jamie to give you an update with that one a little bit. But what this does is it's an application that's put on the building codes notebook that when they're in the field, they have everything at hand. They have the application at hand. They have all the paperwork for that particular project at hand. Okay, so instead of walking out of the building with city documents or having to copy city documents and leaving the building with them, all this information is on a notebook, along with building codes. Building codes for the state is on there, and our own building codes that re-implement some of that is included in that. And it sounds like it sounds good. The fee for that is $199 a month. Okay? There's no year-end fee, there's no year-end surcharges, there's no added charges along the way. The city of Osawatomie uses this very same program, and Lance called over and talked to the operators, and he found that they love it. It works great for them for field operations and not always having to come back to the city hall to obtain the answer to get back with folks, the answer was at hand. I met the mayor of Osawatomie at the mayor's conference and asked them how they thought that it worked. And they're very pleased with it. That's $2,400 a year. This is a newer company. And after we've checked in, we've followed up on it, I'm gonna turn it over to Jamie because I had Jamie do a research on them, and Jamie, your findings are?
There's nothing good or bad. I mean, it's a new company. I'm checking again right now, and I still don't show anything with the Secretary of State that they're registered as a business within the state of Kansas. So that would be my only reservation, besides the fact there's no good or bad that you can find. But I want to make sure that they're, you know, a lot of businesses have a name, but they're registered differently with the state of Kansas. So I'd want to get that checked just to make sure that they're registered with the state of Kansas and go from there. Okay. But I don't see anything that's negative about the company by any means. It's actually a lot of positives.
I think it offers a lot of advantages. It's something the building and codes has wanted in the past, but it's never been obtainable or achievable. And then $199 a month, can that department afford $199 a month until you, and that's budgeted, you could easily budget that with the next year's budget. It's a matter of covering it for the next 4 months. Okay, council, any questions? If I can't answer them, maybe Matthew or Lance can, or Mindy. I don't know that I missed much of what this offers them as a work tool. One of the things that brought my attention to it was I was on a ride around with Lance one day, and he was pulling across the property that we couldn't find anything on. And he's trying to do this, you know, on his phone, and the end result was he had to come back to the office, you know, to chase down the documents that he did or didn't need to verify whether this had a building application or not. So with this, I mean, that was a trip saved to the office, and you know, I think in the long run, $199 a month will be money well spent and money saved if in an event we can do it. It's a annual program, so it's not something we have to enter into a 3-year, 4 or 5 year agreement. It's just 1 year at a time. And questions, council? Robert.
I'm trying to find, I can't even find a website for them, so I wouldn't know what questions to ask yet.
Well, how much is a tablet to start with?
How much what?
You gotta have a tablet or something.
They have the tablets.
They don't cost municipalities. I mean, just the fee every month.
So it comes with that, as part of that fee.
No, the tablet they got was, we don't pay for the tablet, we just pay it through Verizon.
Yeah, but they give us a tablet, right?
No,
He has a
they
tablet.
already have
Oh,
tablets.
so it goes on to your,
They'll
oh,
go on their existing tablets.
oh, okay. See that, I didn't know.
And actually, the way it works is other members of the city can use it. If Mindy needed to utilize it for research, it's available to her. Maybe the most important person would be Paige. You know, if Paige needed to research something, it would be at hand, you know. And right now, what we have is, we'd have some of this stuff online, but majority of it's in the manuals that are laid out in, you know, laid out in the office in there for the codes department, building and codes. So it's, my reason for suggesting this is, again, the same reason we moved to these, and it's trying to dismiss the fact that we have downtime just trying to obligate. You know, these computers, 3 days worth of paper copy, and it's what these computers done for her. You know, how much time is this actually gonna save them? And I would promote, being they work in the field, their ability to work in the field is their time saved.
Have you guys tried these programs?
We have not yet. We have not had the opportunity to try it. I wish they had like a trial we could try out on it. Can I have a minute to speak?
Yes, sir.
I'd love to.
He asked you a question.
So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Matthew Kosmatka. I have 10 years' experience as a building inspector coming from Missouri. The ability to look something up online, to look a code up, and not just the paperwork aspect, but being able to look up a code, what a certain code is, especially for Lance, who's new to this, and he has way more knowledge than he lets on about. But it's a huge time saver. You're gonna have to come back here, pull out a book that's this thick, go to the index, look that up, find where it's at in the book, look it up, then call a contractor or a homeowner back and relay that information to them. It's a 2-hour time saver every time. Just to be able to out there in the field, to be able to look it up and make, oh yeah, that's what that is. And the easy codes are nice. The really nice thing I thought about this was, you guys have some very specific codes to your area that you're not gonna see in Johnson County or anything else, because they don't have the community we have here. We can put the codes that you guys have adopted into that system. So if you go along one year and you're like, hey, we're gonna change a setback for this, they'll change it for us. And it's no fee to change anything or add anything to it, which I thought was fantastic. And it would be a huge help for later on down the line.
What would a, and where you come from, what did that city pay for that type of service?
The program we were using when I left, they were using Enterprise when I first started, and they switched to Central Square. And I think Central Square programming was like $1.3 million or something like that. It was over $1 million, I know that, to buy the program. And when I left, the city of Gladstone was suing Central Square because it didn't work. It did not work for us.
Yeah,
It worked great for the building inspector for me, but for every other department it didn't work. But just being able to look up something online instead of having to come back, it would be just the same as if you were a school teacher and a student asked you a question and you didn't know the answer, and you're like, I want to go look it up. And then you come back 2 hours later. But if you could just right there on your tablet, pull it up, and the other great thing is you're like, there's the code, because it's not there written. They pull the codes directly out of the IBC, the IRC, the code books for what year we're on. We'll be able to pull up our exact information for the year codes that we are on, which is huge when you're out there.
They're not gonna charge us to put that onto whatever?
Nope, they'll just add it in. They're just like, give me your ordinance. So you take your ordinance that council has approved, send it over to them, they add that ordinance right in. It's easy, they're just taking a scanner and scanning it in. And then it just converts it down to their, whatever program they're using. But it's all the exact language, all your ordinance numbers are there, all of that is right there. So it does make it very easy. I wish we could have tried the program out and used it, but from what I understood, you're under no obligation to stay with this for any amount of time. If we use it for 2 months and we're like, this is terrible, we just cancel it. Because there's no contract, from what I understood when we met with the guy who.
Lance, why don't you just memorize all the?
Yeah, go get him the book, Lance.
So,
I've memorized the 1923 OSHA book.
sir, everybody's clear, it's one payment per year. So it's not a monthly.
Correct.
Yes, it's.
Correct.
It's $2,400.
Correct, so it's a
Correct.
one-time payment for the year, so you're locked in for a year. I mean, you can stop if you want, you're not getting your money back.
Cool. Is there any way we can get them to, a lot of people, let them look at it?
So, whenever I spoke with him, and this was right after our meeting, he actually called me, he did offer to let us do the monthly and waive the onboarding annual contract. So, all we really have to do is say yes, he'll do the onboarding and just do a monthly basis to make sure that we like it. If we don't like it, we can cancel it. We don't have to stick with the year. Yes, the original agreement, it is an annual subscription, but when he called me and he spoke with us just to try to get us on board, he offered the monthly. That way, if we didn't like it, we could just cancel it and we're not really out
In conversations and follow-up, not to speak for Lance, you spoke to the operators over at the city of Osawatomie, and they told you what?
He absolutely loves it. He says it makes his job a whole lot easier to deal with, and it's basically, it's almost like Google search on your phone when you just say, hey Google. That's pretty much what it is. You can say, as long as it pertains to that code, to that ordinance, it'll bring up those specific, basically, anything that pertains to it, it'll bring it up.
And again, that's what I understood, was it was a month, it's $199 a month, it's a monthly contract. However, I did understand and reading the agreement, it was an annual agreement. So he'll have to redesign that agreement based on what you said and what I understood, and not what he's provided to us in writing. So it would be, it would be a monthly, and we could cancel it at any time. That's the agreement that I believe that would be an agreement the council may consider. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to sit and try it for a month or something. Make sure it fits you, because you never know.
No, I agree. I just, as we try to offer the question, every boss should ask their employees, have I provided you everything that you need to show success at your job?
I think,
So.
Especially with us getting ready to possibly adopt a more modern, newer code. We've been on 2006 for a long time.
Well, why is this getting thrown out of the blue?
Well, it's
That we're
not
adopting the new
necessarily
code?
out of the blue, it's more or less just kind of it would help with the transition, so to speak. Because a lot of the newer stuff like 2015, 2018 isn't gonna be as familiar around here, because we're all still using 2006. So if we were to say up to a more recent code book, then it would make that transition easier.
That's a conversation for another day, because when we finally adopted 2006, we thought we were putting a lot more on this self-contracting community than they could handle, so.
No, not true at all. Because my brother, when he was building his mother-in-law's house over here, he bought the newest code book, and he's like, there's a lot of stuff that.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
changes. It's amazing.
Well, the same thing as in IBC codes, there's no reference to campers. The state has no obligation or no statutes based on campers either which way. The county does not. So and we're a recreation community, so there's no reason for us, as long as we are a recreation community, to mess with creating such an ordinance, like a lot of cities do.
They have it in their budget, right, Mindy? They have $3 grand available in their budget. So as somebody who does this kind of work, development, I can tell you 1 month's probably not enough time to get fully familiar with it and find out if it's going to 100%.
You're gonna need
Be what you
three or
need.
four minimum.
Yeah, so what I would be willing to do is make a motion to go ahead and allow them to spend the $3,000 that's in their budget to get the software, and if they do decide they don't need it in 3 months, we don't spend all the money. So just allow them to go ahead and purchase it for the full year. But if,
Why not just allow them to purchase it through the end of the year?
yeah, that'd be fine too.
That's what I was-
Is that enough
That's the
time?
ordinance they're
though?
asking for, right?
I mean, we're coming on winter, like,
Yeah.
we're gonna stop building.
Yeah, that's,
But this is a good time.
they're not gonna stop, but.
This is a good time to do the work, is why things have slowed down,
All right.
or at least wise
Should
for
ask
them.
I just know that I've had users on software for 2 years, and then they'll still come up and go, hey, this doesn't work this way, and it's like, it never worked that way, so why would you expect it to? So you could find something later than you would in just 1 month, was my only concern with giving them a short time period. And if they have it enough in their budget, I don't see the point in limiting them. We've been talking about getting them software for 5 years now. And this is the cheapest alternative I've seen to it yet.
Well, any conversation, anybody want to discuss
Are you wanting action on this
more
tonight?
of this? Pardon?
Are you wanting action on, are you guys wanting action on this tonight?
We love it.
Then I motion that we allow them to enter into a contract for pro
Pro
code. For the amount.
Contingent legal.
Contingent on,
Legal's fine.
legal advice for $199 a month. Sound reasonable?
Second.
I would like the council to put, because we are coming to an end of the budget, not to exceed $1,000 before December, because between now and December would be $800.
Okay.
So let's confine,
Not
let's
to exceed
define
$1,000
exactly what we're gonna
by
spend.
end of year. You got all
Second.
that in there?
Yep.
Minnie?
And we will get a month-to-month contract
Yes.
instead of just having to pay it all annually.
But I still expect you to memorize the entire thing.
Conversation ended. All in favor?
Aye.
It's passed. Thank you. Well, it was easier in a new pickup truck, wasn't it,
Yes,
Lynn?
sure was.
I'm sorry. Couldn't help myself.
I wasn't working. It was just for,
All right, let's go to public safety, police department. Any questions? Corey, you got anything for us?
Nothing new.
How do you like that new car?
I like it. It does too many things that I haven't figured everything out on yet. The computer system that all the lights and everything are actually tied into the OBD system of the car itself, so you turn the light bar on and put it in park, the lights do different, it does all kinds of weird stuff.
Tells you what you're supposed to do.
It has a lot of voice commands in it, hit buttons. But apparently it's extremely loud because I can play with it over at the PD and they hear me on the other side of the lake. So I
right on.
probably won't mess with that too much.
Are you gonna leave it unmarked?
What's that?
You gonna leave it unmarked?
No, it's getting marked. We've actually got that, we contacted the place that does our,
They just snuck up on me the other day.
there's a big black bumper and light bar on it, so you weren't paying attention apparently. It doesn't look like an ice cream truck.
I definitely would've noticed that.
It's, yeah, so we're, contacted that fellow, and his brother recently passed away, so just getting scheduling done where he's got time to get it in and get it straightened out.
So where did you end up buying it from?
ESU Pursuits out of, they're actually in Edwardsville, they used to be in Olathe. They moved to a bigger location in Edwardsville. And they sell the cars fully equipped, all we have to do is put our radio and our radars in when we get them.
Awesome.
Corey, how did everything go up at the dance or Banditopia, whatever that was?
Well, I stayed as far away as I could. We did have some calls at a particular Airbnb that I believe the city's been having some issues with as far as not mowing their yard and maybe not able to get the sewer pump for various reasons. We were on down the road, we got sent over there a couple times, there's some folks from the Dance Fest that were staying
Okay.
there.
I think, let's, turn that over to codes and let's, let codes take a look at the, sewer, the conflict with the sewer that we may have.
Basically minor stuff, but unfortunately it took a
Sewer's not
hours in my
minor.
day each time I had to deal with it.
They don't dump the sewer, they keep
Well,
using it, it's on the
yeah, I
ground,
don't
it's
deal
in
with
the
sewer.
ditch.
I just deal with the knucklehead standing there.
Yeah. Imagine if everybody just had that attitude, we're just not gonna dump our sewer this week,
Yeah.
you know, so.
And we had of course, the firefighters, we had to, supply 2 firefighters to the Dance Festopia on our brush truck. And then they'll pay, that outfit pays them, I think it's $18 an hour for the hours they spend out there, plus they will reimburse the city at the FEMA rate for our brush truck.
Very good. Appreciate it, Corey. Yep, fire department. Any questions? Jeremy, you got anything for us?
I do not.
You do not? Well, okay. This was an easy night from Jeremy. Thank you very much, sir. Any questions, guys, regarding the report?
You're going this weekend to look at the truck,
Yes,
right?
so I am going down. I leave Wednesday to drive.
What, you done said, you, nothing.
This is
Too
gonna
late.
cost you.
You already said nothing.
Cost me my time.
Oh,
No, sorry, Karen, you go.
I'm driving down Thursday to Louisiana to look at the truck so that we can sign off and say that everything's good, and should be shipped up there the week next, after that. So we're here this month.
And the money and financing is prepared and ready, thanks to Mindy and the council. So, good job.
And it's the same way, it should be pretty much ready to roll, except for us swapping stuff over. And
Are you guys planning on doing like a present?
Christening?
Sure, turning sirens on and driving around the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll set something up.
Yeah, we can figure something out.
We'll have it out, something event the city has.
Led with the new police car.
Yeah, cause these
There
kids
you
would
go.
just
There you go.
absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah.
The community would appreciate that. The community, they remember the hard decisions that they had to make when they went to vote on this.
Yeah.
You know, it took us a couple of years to get this accomplished, so. But thanks for doing that, Jeremy.
No problem.
Okay,
On that, one other thing, sorry, on the fire side of it. I spoke with the lady from the state that does the ISO
this one.
ratings for our insurance ratings and everything like that, so. And I got a list from her of everything that we have to have in place at the fire department, training, number of hours, all that different stuff that we've gotta have before they come down to test us for our ISO rating. And of course, the biggest thing, and the reason we've never had them come do it before was because the biggest portion of that ISO rating is your availability of water. And with having the dry hydrants that we had in here, we never would have passed. But when the hydrants get in, that's when she recommends, then we go ahead and call them to get us prepared to do the ISO testing so that we can get our ISO rating down, which
Save
can help
us
people's
some.
insurance rates. It doesn't always, but it can.
Exactly.
We've been looking into like everything we buy and everything to make sure that we can lower our ISO for everything too, so.
The firefighter one training that they're going through now, all of that stuff, the new truck, all of that stuff plays into that rating. The biggest portion of it, though, 40% of that rating is the water supply, so the hydrants are gonna be a tremendous help.
Which there are some installed down there, I saw.
I don't know if there's any water in there, but I
Not
seen
water
some
yet,
hydrants.
they're down there.
I saw hydrants too.
It's coming our way, guys. It's coming our way.
Yeah, I think they hit rock.
Oh, I think they
We've been
did
listening
too.
to rock getting
You
crushed.
might wanna
about
do
the
a
last
dry
2
run,
days.
not
Yeah,
a
I've
live
been
fire.
listening to dump, 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 dump for a couple of days now too.
Any
That's
other
why I said
questions for the
Darla.
fire department? I'm sorry, Jeff.
A couple of days ago, I walked outside and was hearing that. I was like, well, they must have hit rock finally.
You're getting close when you can feel it vibrate.
Well, luckily for us down there in the bottom, it's mostly topsoil and then rock's pretty deep down, but,
Yeah, when they got over there by the campground, it was
oh, yeah,
this far down, you
Yep.
could hit that rock all the way
they
down.
hit rock immediately, so.
Well, they started running downhill too, so you can see a lot of rock at the top of the hill. Okay, with no other question, let's move to projects, water projects. I'll start, with water project before we get to the motion to approve, some requisitions. I just wanna do the schedule, the September schedule for the update from the contractors. Where the pump house is, they've, about completed installing the block walls. They're getting that system hooked up down there, beginning the electrical installation. They have started from the water tower and they've started the lane where they're gonna put the fill station, and they've started running the transmission line downhill now. So they're pretty much on schedule. They anticipated by September 15th, they'd have the completion of the transmission main done. I think they may be pretty much on course with that. And they're gonna start filling and testing, still in September, you know. So we got the type of lines that we have, those will be pressure tested lines. and they'll need water to do that. So the system will, the pumping system, pump house will be active. We'll be filling lines and testing it for pressure. The next step will be to have Caldwell tanks come in and do the final sanitization on the tank so that we can begin our own fill, our own fill. September 16th, where our booster pump is, that flow meter should be in-house by then. You know, we still have some parts that hasn't quite got to us yet. A fitting for the transmission line on the corner at Holiday. We're waiting on that valve, and like I said, the booster pump, the flow meter we're waiting on. So things are moving right along. This is a contractor that comes to work every day, and they don't let grass grow under their feet. Any questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions regarding that, I would like for the council, and I'm going to give this back to Mindy. She has some requisitions. We apologize because, again, we didn't get these invoices until this morning when we opened our computers. So they know we have a request when we would like to get them turned in, you know, however, we got to work with the date. I mean, we figured it was easier to ask you to approve this than not. Mindy?
Requisition number 2 was sent in August, so need approval for that. Now we're caught up. Requisition for August, I just got this morning, so I need 2 motions.
I would motion to approve requisition number 3 in the amount of $313,334. Requisition number 2.
Okay.
You said
Oh,
three.
requisition 2.
I'm sorry.
That one's already been approved.
What?
Requisition 2.
It's on
No,
the
it's
list, I
been-
mean, you approve it.
It's been paid, it has not been approved by council.
Motion to approve requisition number 2 in the amount of $313,334.
Now 3 just came in this morning.
Conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
And do you want to go ahead and do the other one now, while we have it?
Yeah, I think that's why she put it on the agenda.
Then I would also make a motion to approve requisition number 3, B&G Services, B&G Consultants for basic services in the amount of $57,110.20.
Conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, completed. Lagoon expansion project. It's the same as it was, B&G's finalizing the final bid package. So we should be pretty much on track that we should see this go to bid by no later than October. So, you know, again, it's,
I don't know. It keeps getting pushed back.
huh?
It keeps getting pushed back.
It does keep getting pushed. It's in B&G's hands now.
I know.
So, but this is where we come to, they have requested a payment. Mindy?
$1,085 for lagoon improvements from BG. You guys want to approve that?
1,000?
$1,085.
I got it here. I'm trying to determine exactly what they say it was for, though. Okay. The part covers the bidding setup. All right, so motion to approve invoice number 28 from B&G Consultants in the amount of $1,085.
Conversation. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Number 10, ordinance 273, standard traffic ordinance. Every year, we receive one every year from the state, and every year the council has to approve it on behalf of our city. Motion to approve. Ordinance 273.
Okay,
To
yeah.
adopt the new-
Motion to adopt ordinance 273 by, an ordinance adopting by reference the standard traffic ordinance by the city of Linn Valley, Kansas, otherwise regulating traffic within the city and repealing ordinance 264.
2025.
I'll
Or is this
second.
2026?
We're still in 25.
Okay.
Two seconds.
Conversation. All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance 274, similar, Uniform Public Defense Code. State sends it down to the city to adopt for our community on an annual basis.
Motion to adopt ordinance 274, an ordinance adopting by reference the Uniform Public Defense Code by the city of Linn Valley, Kansas, and repealing ordinance 265.
I'll second.
Conversation. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Okay, number 12, city POA meeting update. Do you want to take this, Richard?
I mean, it pretty much happened as I wrote down, and wanted to see if there's any questions. I can't remember. I was there.
Does the council have any questions regarding this before I turn this over to legal? Jamie?
So,
Good.
I think the issue is, I mean, I think the meetings are great. I think it's good to have conversation. But the reality is these meetings are about the POA wanting things from the city. Once again, when I started in 2019, in June 2019, I made it abundantly clear from a legal standpoint, the city is separate from the POA, period. The city cannot fund the POA. The reality is, for me at a backhoe, it was like $1 that they leased it and then they broke it. They had the other equipment that they've done as well. And I think for me, the frustrating part is sort of like the issue of the deer. I talked to legal counsel about it, the POA's legal counsel about it. I talked to legal counsel about they wanted to go after the fish too. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing the same thing that we've already had conversations with their legal counsel about. So for me at least, it's more work for me to keep answering the exact same questions over and over and over and over again. It's almost like if they keep asking the same question, maybe they're going to get a different answer. And that's the frustrating part for me. I know with Corey, that's the frustrating part as well. Is for us is we can give our opinion. If you guys don't want to follow it, that's fine. But there has to be some finality to certain things because it's not going to get done. I mean, the reality is we've got a lagoon project, water projects, and a bunch of other things going on. And we're focusing on deer hunting and things like that. And for me, that's very difficult to keep going back to legal counsel to address those issues when it's already been decided.
I will add to that, and I was with Lou and Mindy down at the meeting site for the water project, and some of the POA board members showed up, and then they were asking the same questions that I answered to Pam and some others. So yes, I would agree, and I've seen that. They're asking the same questions over and over and over. And I'm like you, I don't know if they're hoping for a different answer or not. But anyway.
But that's not what's happening during our city POA meetings. They're not asking us those kind of questions. This is more communicating back and forth of what's going on. They're not asking us.
Well, no.
I know about your meeting down there. I'm just talking about our meeting.
Okay.
We have it there. They ain't really asking us for anything. We're just communicating back and forth.
Right.
What's going on.
When they see a concern, they'll bring it up and then we'll discuss it, but they're not, I think they're hoping that we will bend, but me and Michael usually don't. We'll ask, you know, we'll tell them, say, we'll go find out. We don't bend right there, so.
But the only thing I remember them asking us for is in those meetings was if we weren't using that shed or whatever.
Oh,
Or no, I guess we asked them that.
the bar?
I can't remember them asking us for anything.
I think it's a question of asking. I think it's a question of the same discussion. I mean,
Well, I understand.
and over and over again, and the goal is to get a different answer. And the reality is, you've got, like, a hunting issue. You've got an opinion from the police chief on the safety issue. You've got an opinion from legal. I've spoken to their legal counsel about it, and for some reason, it keeps getting brought back up, is what I'm saying. And there's a point where it's like, guys, not you two, but the POA, there's a point where you have to move on from that issue on to more important things. The reality is you've got roads that are in disrepair. You've got on the main lake, you've got a dam that's in disrepair. And the city has issues. The city's got issues with the lagoons. They got issues with the water projects, which correlates back to infrastructure. And the reality is, if you don't have infrastructure, you don't have a city. And that's what I'm getting at is you can only ask and discuss something so many times before, I mean, you can only beat a dead horse so many times.
I don't think they communicate very well. Because you could ask them before, did you ask for it? No, not really. I mean,
From one board to the next, there's a lot lost.
And I had a similar conversation with some people this weekend, and one of the things I suggested that we might both sides look at is creating a new member packet that clearly explains on the POA side what they can and can't do, and on the city council side, what they can and can't do, so that there's not that, you know, as soon as they declare they want to run for that position, they should be handed those packets so they are fully aware what rules and regulations actually cover them in those positions, so they don't go out and make promises they can't keep to get into the position and then find out later that they can't actually do those things, or continue to come to the city and ask the same questions every 2 years when the new board comes on and they want to ask the same
Has
questions.
anybody else been approached about, once the water is in,
All the time.
then we can have chickens?
No,
Yes.
not that one.
I have been,
Not
I've
that
had that one, I've had,
That's not on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. I've had several questions along those lines, but that's the thing is, I think the biggest issue we're running into, what Jamie's describing here, is every 2 years, a new set of board members get elected. They want to request the same things from the city that have already been told no multiple times, and they don't seem to have any kind of line of communication that tells them, hey, that question's been asked and answered, don't bother asking it again. So,
Well, they do have someone they could ask, but they don't.
I have no clue. I just see the.
It's worse now
you-
than
much
it's
more
ever
people do
been,
it.
because they've dismissed the people who have the knowledge. Pam McCoy can answer every one of these questions tenfold over and over again, but this board has chosen to dismiss her from conversation and question. Matter of fact, she's not even invited to your meeting. Okay, so Louis Sire, another person that has all this information, but yet they don't, instead of asking them, they want to, this has become a city tasking meeting is what this has become. You know, one of these tasks here was Dan Coleman, a new guy, never even knew he was supposed to go to your meetings. But I guess we have new board members that come to the meeting at random to bring new questions. He wants to know why we aren't doing something about all the junk that got moved out of
No, that wasn't how it was put.
up there. I can read it if you want, but
Well, I mean,
it's the location, they relocated that to private property.
Okay,
Is that not what they did?
well, he did a lot of hem hawing. And he wanted to know how many businesses, how many people with building lots could run a business from their building lot. That was the initial question.
They did a lot around here for many years. I can
I
give
know,
you
and
names
that's
that you
what I
wouldn't
told
even
him.
recognize.
And
Carr,
I
still
said,
got a
if
truck in his backyard.
if they have a tax number and pay the city taxes, they're good.
It wasn't
From
so
the
much
city.
running a business, it was Carl was storing all this stuff on that building line, you know, all those work trucks.
No, no, I
If that
understand.
was legal or not, I mean,
Well, it depends. That's what I'm getting at. The question is productivity, right? And how these meetings are supposed to be productive on both ends of the spectrum. The reality is, and I haven't seen it, my understanding, there's POA rules against having those things within the POA confines as far as the work vehicles and things like that. It goes both ways. The city has to do their job. We only have so many people. The reality is, people in the community don't want the budget to go up. They can only do so much to go around the POA, go around the city to get stuff done. The fact of the matter is, the POA also has to do their job as well, to do their role within the confines of that gate. And that needs to happen. But as far as the meetings are concerned, they need to be productive in regards to the bigger picture of what we're dealing with. The minimal little things, you know, like I said, over and over again, it's not fair to you, it's not fair to you, and frankly, it's not fair to the people that are showing up to the meeting because they don't have that information, like Robert said.
but it wasn't like it was an agenda item, this was an offhand comment, you know what I mean?
No, I get it, but,
And he wasn't demanding answers from us and that kind of thing.
no, and I'm
It
not,
was just open conversation.
and I'm not saying that, that's why, what I'm getting at though is from a standpoint of the productivity of these meetings, is getting the bigger picture of what we need to do moving forward in relation to the roles that we both have, the city and the POA, and keeping that infrastructure intact and getting the other things done as well. That's what I'm getting at, because we're focusing on, it seems, and the appearance is, the same things over and over again, when the city and the POA have a multitude of bigger issues than what's being brought up.
Well, those meetings aren't like that, like what you're thinking. We talk about different stuff, and they're still kind of new for everybody.
Yeah.
So we're starting to figure out what we're doing. I think we're doing a pretty good job on it. A lot of times we can't give them answers because we don't know.
Yeah.
Suggestion, and this is an example, and I've worked with, tried to get the POA to recognize this in the past, is a lot of this stuff is POA policies or it's within the covenants. What would be more helpful is if the POA came to us and said, we've called them and we didn't get any action. We've sent them a letter, we didn't get any action. Maybe even send them a certified letter. But after they've made attempts to clean it up, then they reach out to the city and they say, you know what, we've done this and we can't get Lou to do it. We can't get Mr. Donaldson to clean it up. Well, now maybe is the time to address it with Jamie and say, well, what is the legal position based on we have to clean this up? Come on, council, we've done condemnations that were in this community long before we had a code building and codes department. You know, so a little help, a little direction on their part would be beneficial to this is what we've done and how can you help?
One conversation, and I brought the covenants up. I said it's pretty well outdated. And I got the impression that they're afraid to change it. They're afraid to take it to the people and change it. So they're not looking to do that. And that's unfortunate because I think that my thought is the POA and the city could work together a little bit better.
Yes, sir.
If the covenants was to change.
The covenants they're not like the bylaws, the covenants take a big quorum.
Right, I understand.
They can't get a hold of, 90% of people.
What is it, 80%?
Yeah,
It
but
depends on what you guys have it set as, a 75 or 80%?
10.
But aren't they null and void under the state statute anyway?
That's what I was gonna say, in reality, they're
It
null and
is.
void.
That's what I was gonna say, in reality, yeah, because
'Cause they're
under state
50 years
statute,
old.
we have to vote on them every so many years as an entire community, or they become non-existent.
Yeah, I don't know who's harassing you on these questions.
Dan
It's like
Coleman
Doug.
has a,
He just-
he has a good
Brought
example.
up the application, whatever, and when I told him we voted no, and I asked him if he wanted to be on the agenda, come over and talk about it, he said, no, if you guys said no, that's fine. He gets it. Maybe,
He originally had asked to be on the agenda. Michael and I had asked, once the council has made a choice and you voted on this last meeting, it was not my authority to put it on the agenda. I would have to ask Michael to take the floor for that group. So, you know, what, and Michael, and as we understood it, it was Doug, I talked to him this morning, and they decided not to come before the council right now, so.
That's about.
Or a request to come before the council, it'll be up to you to even listen to them, so.
What's that requirement?
I just wanted to give him a chance to speak, because we didn't give him a chance to speak, because I don't think they were ready for the paper to come out yet, whatever they did, when they brought it up here, is the way I understood it.
I get
And
that,
we voted on it.
but I can't go against you guys, I
Yeah,
can't.
well, and I would reiterate something that you said all the time over there as a council member, which is once you create an exception for one, you've opened that door and you'll have to create exceptions all across the board.
It's called setting a precedence.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna tell you no, I'm gonna let you come, say your piece first, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't disagree, yeah.
But he didn't wanna do that because we said no, and that's fine, he understands.
I think the language should be, how can the city help? Not, isn't this the city's responsibility? And as Jamie looks at this, we again are like, well, the first thing that I do is I check to see if in an event we have an obligation. Do we, you know, so once I've done a little research, I have to check with Mindy and I have to check with Jamie, you know, based on, you know, what we are trying to accomplish. So, again, I think the door is open. I think we just need to try to come together based on what are requesting and how can we help? That's the question. How can we help? And people should be attempting to help themselves too. So that's all I ask. So any other conversations regarding, I do have one thing I want to add to this that was a question. It's been a question for many meetings. Water meter pricing. What I can say based on the cost of a water meter is that the water meter and the device to hook it up in this project is costing us $1,750 per unit. That is in our book, that is in our bid package, that's what we're paying per meter. Now,
That's with them hooking up.
Now, I can promise you that once the project is ended, we are not gonna have, the city will not have the same buying power that contractors have that are buying 10, 20, or I don't know,
700 and some odd units at least.
Say, yeah, 700 units a pop, you know, and maybe working with cities that are ordering 1,000, we're not gonna have that buying capital. So we really are not gonna know what this unit is gonna cost us until we can match it to our supplier and order 10 a year.
That's good to know, because I didn't even know 1,700.
Yeah, it's in,
I wasn't even sure, I knew.
That's the installed price, that's what we're paying heading.
yeah.
Right, but I'm still under the impression that we hadn't determined an
Well,
actual system.
They have not determined it, but they can't
But
change the price.
They can't change the price, they have to give it to us for that price, I
So
agree.
whatever they do, they gotta go buy the meters that were unobligated by the EPA
Yeah.
and the USDA. They have to replace that meter, but yet they still have to install it for that unit price, so.
Yeah.
You know, so that everybody knows that it's a question, how can we have a project without knowing what we're paying for meters? Well, we know what the city's paying for them. We have no idea what the future is gonna be based on, oh, we're not ordering 700 at a time, we're gonna maybe order 10 at a time, 12 a year.
You might need to clarify though, because it sounds like you're saying we're gonna charge them 1,700, that's not the case.
Oh, we're not. Right now, that's just what the city will pay. It's in this contract cost. And again, to re-explain this, the new cost, we do not know yet.
Right.
So,
And then there will be the labor involved in actually putting it in the hole.
but this should give somebody a peace of mind when people are thinking, oh, this is gonna cost me $20,000 to put a meter in. I don't think it's gonna
That's all
cost that
that's
much.
all we were asking, just, you know, how much we're gonna spend.
I'm just trying to give information, questions that are being asked,
Okay.
you know.
Well,
just-
I've been telling them from day one, 12 to 1,500 for the meter.
Yeah.
We're paying 1,750 to have it installed and
Yeah,
everything.
5,000 and 6,000 keeps popping up every time I say that.
Yeah, well,
Because they
and,
keep going off,
Yeah.
rural water one rate, which,
well, they're going
There
off
will
of
be-
benefit units.
They're
is what I-
asking about meter and what is it gonna cost for me to run it to my house?
Mhm.
I'm the one saying about 5, depending on your rock.
Right, right. Oh,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
number's coming from
Yeah.
me. Because I don't know what it's
Well-
gonna cost.
Yeah,
You're,
yeah,
you're just talking meter cost, right?
right.
No, yeah, meter cost.
Well, if you're building a brand new
Meter
home
cost is
tomorrow
$1,500.
and you need to get connected to the water system, you're not gonna already get one of the free meters. So the question that you're asking is, when I do this, how much am I gonna have to pay to have that water service to where I can hook it up to my house? They're not really wanting to know what the meter is, they're wanting to know, what is it gonna cost me to have water at my house?
Remember, the contractor didn't wanna answer it.
A lot of
Yeah.
them are asking how much are the meters
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, but everybody I've asked that when I dug a little deeper, they didn't care about the actual device. They wanted to know how much it was gonna cost them to have that meter put at their house so they could have water.
And what do I think? I think the meters could extend themselves a couple $100 more based on what we're gonna buy, or they may even, at that rate, you know what, it may cost us a couple grand, I don't know.
So
But
to clarify, going one step further, once these meters are gone, they're all installed, and the city goes to buy new meters, are we gonna be under the same obligation from FDA or
USDA, no.
USDA to
Once
buy?
these meters are dispersed, this is what happened. Once the system's installed per the specifications and per the contract, what happens at this particular point in time is we're gonna run out of money first, and then the grant will kick in. So the 55% grant funds that's gonna be obligated to us to finish this project, it'll get passed over to us. Once all these funds are dispersed and the project is complete, then the project gets turned over to us and there's no more free meters.
Right. But I'm talking obligation for the same meters, they have to communicate the same, I get that.
Correct.
But do we have to buy
Do
the
they have to be
exact same
the
meter?
BABA? Is that what
Right.
you're-
Yeah,
And they will.
You're
The
gonna have
answer
to
to
buy,
that is
it's
yes.
gonna have to be the same meter.
yeah.
Yeah, this project won't change just because we've spent all the money.
Well, new people added on later will still have to buy we'll still be obligated.
Yes, sir.
When we go to buying 10 a year to buy that same type of meter.
Which is
It's not just
something that we'll have to
compatible.
put into our
Ordinance.
ordinances.
Yeah.
You know, we work real hard to try to answer all the questions, and again, we have the diversity of a community that every year we have a new wave of people come in, or every 2 years, a new wave of people that are going, I didn't know anything about this, or I didn't know this or didn't know that, so. And that's what our board is right now, in conversation with our council members that are meeting with them, is they're folks who have never attended these conversations before. So, again, reason we would recommend that people attend town hall meetings that the city provides, you know, for the sake of our projects. Anything else? And we're moving on. Old business transient tax. Mindy?
It's off. I can't find, we have to put the money in a, hospitality, what's the word I want? Travel, tourism,
Correct.
and tourism account.
We have to establish a tourism account with the state,
We don't have tourism.
and we probably will
Yeah,
not
we do.
qualify.
We do?
Airbnb
We have
is
these,
tourism.
we have these signs down here that say, live where, whatever it says. I don't know,
Live where,
Play where you live.
play
live
where you live.
but yeah,
We may not qualify to a tourism account because those kind of things are set up for hotels and motels, but
I mean, they'd probably frown upon us saying tourism in a gated community. We have tourists, but you can't get in.
oh, I'm talking, those signs are on the outside of the gate. Yeah, I hear you now, yeah.
I don't understand how that can't
might
be used
frown
for
on that.
infrastructure, since the key thing you have to have for tourism is infrastructure, but.
So I'm giving up on it. Unless they change something.
if someone with the council wants to continue to research and see what the painful obligation to a tourism account would be. But these accounts are set up because the state makes payments to them. It's kind of like our road fund. We only have a road fund because that's the account the state uses to move funds and dividends into the city. So,
You will start it, you'll figure it out.
conversation before we move on with that, anybody?
Yep, good to go.
So that, I sent you the stuff from McPherson, that didn't help?
No, I think it was, I saw infrastructure one time, but I cannot find it now, so it must have changed.
But the one I sent you,
Yeah.
the actual one they installed, that doesn't?
It goes to,
McPherson has tourism
they have tourists, they have hotels, motels.
though. Hotels,
Well, I understand,
motels,
but
they got an airport.
I could swore it was for infrastructure was where that money was going.
I know, but that's probably where I read it. But when you read them now, I don't know if it changed. 'Cause, you know, they change these bills, like CPR changes every year. Now I can't find it. So, maybe we'll begin next year.
It's a conversation that I don't mind having with different people. I'll check with Rick James, see if a representative for our area might have any suggestions. But that's what we've discovered up to this point. Any more questions regarding transient tax? New business, any new business?
John wants to know if we can have chickens.
Huh?
John wants to know if we can have chickens.
He
No,
can't.
I don't want anything to do with chickens. I'm just saying people are already starting to approach me about that.
Well, it's not a conversation we
And
can have.
evidently you can have animals in Sugar Valley.
It's not a question we can even have until we decommission the water plant. Once the water plant is decommissioned, my suggestion is they come to Mindy,
Oh,
ask for an agenda to be put on the agenda, and ask and request this council to research and to see if in an event they would consider an ordinance sort of for the sake of chickens. Jamie, what did you say it cost the city of Leawood to write 132-page documents for storing, housing, and inspection of chickens?
A lot of money.
So would that be codes?
Yeah, falls under codes, you require, you can only have so many chickens. No, really. The chicken house gets inspected, the amount of chickens gets inspected. There's a semi-annual review of those chickens, and every year you have to pay a permit fee to house those 5 chickens. Yeah, again, as we go through all of this, I was
well, it's just like-
surprised that it was
it's just
132
like they turned a
pages
deer
long
into
myself.
pets, they need to turn our chicken hawks into pets. You don't need a chicken when you got a chicken hawk.
But I don't know what everybody thinks, but everybody does know what comes with chickens, right? You know, as they're running around your backyards on the lake and all that, and we know what comes with chickens, so.
Fertilizer.
Is that what you call it?
It's
Yeah, I'll
called-
get the same question after water project is done, if we can have chickens.
Okay.
My wife wants to know.
Moving on.
My wife wants
There's days I don't like John Weirs at all.
So,
Oh, goodness.
John, you and I will just go buy like 10 acres and we'll put some chickens out there and everybody can come visit our chicken.
See, that's why he's our president.
We'll buy eggs.
Call it a petting zoo and there's your tourism.
There you go.
I
We just
like-
need Jeremy's fire department to be there to assist.
What do we got to do with chickens?
No, fire department, that's a.
The people who want chickens, have they seen how many grills are in this community?
Raccoons need to eat too.
I'm just saying, I'm not making this up. There's guys with big grills, and everybody's got a grill for a chicken. All right. Citizen participation. Anybody like to step up and conversation?
I guess I would just be you, Lester.
No.
Lister? Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey,
Good night, guys. Hey, it was a good meeting. Thanks a lot for everything and not beating me up for things you don't like to talk about.